Liberation greetings to all and sundry, my people of Ambazonia, my dear brave warriors of our liberation movement. Accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day. Today is Wednesday, November 29, 2023. I'm delighted that you found time in your very busy schedule to be with me on this broadcast. So we should have the opportunity to examine and dissect fresh issues that are happening on ground zero, issues relating to our liberation movement. I know that we have had the occasion to watch multiple videos on social media from our neighbors in Nigeria who are now, you know, coming to talk about what is going on in the southern Cameroons and sensitizing their people about, the ongoing genocidal war launched on our people by La République du Cameroon. And I think that, the mere fact that quite some people in their narratives really don't articulate the issues, really appear not to understand clearly what is going on, is testimony to the fact that a lot of people inside Nigeria were really not very aware of what has been going on in the southern Cameroons. Perhaps they've just been hearing it as in flashing because you notice, and this is a trend on the African continent, we spend time reporting about incidents that are happening in other parts of the world. We scarcely take time to pay attention to the things that are happening around us. Because if you get into Nigeria, you talk about Ukraine, Russia, you will have people there. I mean, even common people in the various neighborhoods who can sit down and lecture you on what exactly is going on between Ukraine and Russia. If we talk about what is going on between Israel and Hamas and the Palestinians, they will lecture you on exactly what is going on. But see now, but for the incident involving actor Madu Sylvester in Bamenda, a good lot of them don't even know what is going on in southern Cameroons. Too often, you have to stimulate to move them before they pay attention to something happening right in their backyard, which can have a backlash and an effect on their own communities, as we are already seeing. So, all the same, it was an unfortunate incident that Mr. Madu got attacked and that Mr. Madu found himself in what he found himself in. But at the same time, it has turned out to be a very interesting incident, shy of the lives that were lost, and we keep regretting that loss of lives very seriously. And I keep extending my heartfelt sympathy to the families of those who died in that incident. To talk like Katanga Ponji, we will be, you know, will continue to extend sympathy to the families of those that died so that we can have an opportunity to carefully bury the bereaved. That's what Atanga Ponji said, that he was going to bury the bereaved. They sent him to assist in burying the bereaved. So, but all the same, that joke aside, what I'm saying is that incident involving Madu Sylvester has brought the southern Cameroon's liberation quest right before or to the doorsteps of the common man in Nigeria. I can see a lot of them are now asking questions, a lot of them are reaching out to know about what exactly is going on, and I'm glad that quite some of them, especially those that were born and bred in the southern Cameroons who are Nigerians, are coming out to talk about our people, to talk about our plight, to explain that they are aware. I heard one of them even went as far as saying that we will go there when they have given us or when we have acquired what we are looking for. Oh yeah, he was born and bred in Bamenda, and he understands that the only way peace will return will be when there will be justice, and that the people of the southern Cameroons have taken back their land and kicked La République du Cameroon out of our territory. And folks, just so you know, even as we continue to scream on daily basis about massive extortion on our people, La République du Cameroon and their agents among us are not slowing down. Before I get into that, because I know the time now on ground zero is a few minutes gone past, is it 8 p.m.? Yeah, a few minutes gone past 8 p.m. And so I'm saying this to those of you who are around the Bengui Road. You have to be very careful. You have to watch your backs, and you have to, make sure that you keep your very important articles very well. If you have your certificates and all not there, to keep them first of all out of the house or secure them, because a gendarme officer has just been brought down on the Bengui Road. He was on a bike, and I guess, I mean, some Braveheart from one angle with something more or less like a sniper rifle took down the gendarme officer behind the bike. The bike rider was even surprised to see what was going on. And I guess the bike rider did not even know that the person he was carrying was a security official, but apparently the self-defense volunteers knew the gentleman very well and had been tracking him, and they brought just him down. Uh, the unfortunate thing right now is that the bike rider has been arrested by the colonial forces of La République du Cameroon and taken up station for detention. The poor bike rider did not know that he was carrying a security man. If he were aware that he was a security man, I'm not sure he wouldn't have carried him in the first place. And secondly, if he were part of the group that took care of this security man that deleted him, he definitely would not have stood there bewildered. He would have escaped normally. But the bike rider did not know what was going on, was surprised, stood there bewildered, confused, and he remained at the spot. And when the La République du Cameroon talks arrived, the first thing they did was capture him, and they've gone and detained him. Now he will definitely be facing a lot of extortion, and they will start telling him if he doesn't pay huge amounts of money, they'll say he is an Amber boy himself, and of course, you know what's going to happen next. So, my people, let us pray for him. Let us monitor the gentleman and see what is going on with him. And to all our bike riders, I keep reminding always try to play safe and avoid any situation. Avoid any situation where if you make una find una selves for a crossfire. Crossfire in a way, una carry person way the other people them they define them. Because at the end of the day, when bullets start flying, so one fit pass, it carry your head go, or if it end up for like the way with this bike rider define himself now for inside Ngata. Apologies keeping to that just to make sure that everybody really gets this. But let me even delve down into Pidgin to say this few things I'm saying. I'll come back to the Queen's language. So pardon me this little moment. My country people, you see, I've been there for here yesterday. I congratulate every person as we continue for observe we country Sunday. And I be talk and reiterate them, say this ghost towns, this country Sunday, they punish La République du Cameroon very well. It dey make am for where they no fit get the revenue where they expect them for take and torture we for we communities. And as you feel expect them, La République du Cameroon they continue for drink plenty dust for we land. And so for that reason, they depress their enablers among we make them begin try for bring frustration on people there because they want enforce until where they know say if it lead to death. Look, this picture we really see now stamp that from the Kumba, one of the Kumba councils. I think it will be na Kumba 2 council. With this stamp, they put also the gear for bike rider. So you get for hold that stamp, will work out you now one of the documents where police or gendarme they will control them or soldiers they will control them. And so according to the talk say this stamp now for sure say you be work for country Sunday, so you be work for Monday. Make everybody understand the danger for the loiter around with this stamp. Because at the same time when you will check say this stamp, it will help for save you from the hands of the La République talks inside Kumba. This stamp, the simple fact that you carry this stamp, it go put you in serious trouble with the self-defense volunteers. This one, another whole piece of trouble way they want bring on the people. The best way for fight an enemy like La Republic du Cameroon, now for resist them, not for cooperate with them, now for resist them. Because if we not give in to this matter, say okay, because I know we dey na for Kumba, go easy. It be very easy. All these are nonsense, very easy. Say before day one break, this time the number of these times we go dey say go pass the number of bike riders who dey inside Kumba, go pass the number of taxi drivers, go pass the number of every person wey dey inside Kumba, because it be easy for just do the stamp and everything. So that for tell the Jew and others say no be say na something wey they no fit beat am. But we don't need for beat this one. We need for refuse for subject ourselves to this one. As I talk to my country people, listen, you fit do am this Monday, you survive am. You move around this week, you survive with them. But before you want know, other things that start happening for you when are exactly the reason that way. Me at the talk, I dey always insist. I never ever send any man after another one say, go bring down that one, go bring down, because me, much as I stand for justice and all of those things, I go insist. Say we continue for use the best and most orthodox means for get to this end. If we give sufficient support for self-defense volunteers, when they dey for fight for freedom, you know you find yourself on a collision course. But when you find yourself, you dey cooperate and the support now with the colonial administration, with the terrorist talks from La Republique du Cameroon, with their only role, their only desire now for bring pain for we land, now for keep you under slavery and servitude, you go end up always in trouble. So this time, as you see, you will certainly soon hear the cost of this time. You will soon hear how much they will extort them from a bike rider or a taxi driver if you don't get this time. Because for like people, you can this one are nothing. This one are just another opportunity for them for the collect ransom from the people. Listen, folks, not just another opportunity for the Republic du Cameroon talks. For the collect ransom from the people for live on. Because I don't explain for you plenty times say the government of La Republique du Cameroon now so no get the resources again enough for continue for take care of these forces. Now while there were plenty of them, they find it difficult for live and so for survive, they carry out now all these raids, capture people that they go lock them, who come organize periodic kale, carry innocent people they go lock them, then start to claim 500,000, 300,000, 50,000, 200,000, capture back the occupant, and so they take survive for we land. So my people, we need for do everything possible for kick them out. And I want to talk this because make some person not talk say this so na papa where they talk am. Just see what they do for we land. You go for La Republique du Cameroon, see that the same way they police those areas. Because imagine a transporter will come up from Victoria, from Limbe. If one carry person go reach for Kumba, now passenger motor, man na the number of stops where he will get them for the number of checkpoints. Number one, Bokom roundabout Limbe, you get police. Number two, Stone Throw, Mile 4, they be mixed with the police, gendarme, soldiers. Number three, Ombe, gendarme. Number four, Big Mop, Mutengene, na the one the way they call am routier. Number five, Dibanda, Mile 4, na military. Number six, that's Mile 16, you get police. Number 7, Mile 16, you get military and gendarme. The same place. So, number 8, Mile 17, you get military. Number 9, Munya, you get police. Number 10, Liongo, you get military. Number 11, Liongo, you get police. Number 12, Ekona Benge, the Dede mix, police, gendarme, military. Number 13, Muyoka, you get police. Number 14, Malende, you get gendarme. Number 15, Banga Bakundu, you get gendarme. Number 16, Mabonji, they be mixed. Look, na 16 checkpoints for a roadway they how long? For a distance for how long? I say na 16 this when me I be able for make them put time together, make them really account for sender for me. My share would do for you. 16, 1 6. Listen, folks, we get for do everything for make sure say all these checkpoints they be eradicated. We get for do them. And we no go do an by Babel. We must continue for resist them. Because that the thing this is what they talk about here. They don't transform land into a police state with all angles. They extort from the people on the pretext say they did enough for protect we. So for that one day, they can't stand there and say no, when I see Mukopel military because not them be. I see some person say right for me say where Odo military don't burn over 400 villages. Odo military don't burn thousands of people alive. Odo military don't kill, seize people their property, do all kinds of things. But they struggle for create a charm between themselves and the people, so make them collaborate with them for destroy our own very liberation movement. And they say the bad thing I say some few people they don't default for them. For real? My people, just see. And they talk this thing and they repeat them. Listen. If someone comes and they tell you, say, oh, no worry, now Paul Biya be the problem. When Paul Biya go, you think they go they fine and all of those things, then we will get different person who will come in place, he will come make peace, he will come respect una right, he will even can give una federalism, he will even can give una this and all of those things. Listen, folks, I don't talk this and I be very formal about them. Like if you Cameroon, their wahala never start. Look, even in downtown, after Biya na Biya, you see Frank Biya, so Frank Biya never ever joined CPDM. Even now, so I'm not sure he gets CPDM card. But you see, all in anticipation for prepare for see how they go perpetuate this evil rule, then bring them for land, continue for enforce and for we land. Now why do you see all that rapper and so? So some group of women they don't bring 1 million of this rapper them with Frank Biya CPDM. Man will not belong to that party here. And it make sense begin enter some people in their heads. Make sense begin enter some people in their heads small. Say the real suffer for La Republic never start. And so we no want for be part of that kind of evil society. We no want for continue for be part of that kind of society where no go ever move one step ahead. Where other countries they drive the go now for before. Like we do the Cameroon, their own motor, they drive the gun backward. That's what they do. Who want belong to that kind of a system? Who want be part of that kind of a system? My country people, the only way we will send them out now resistance. Make every person deny that stamp. Well, I just talk so this stamp so. Every person deny for use this stamp. Deny for find yourself with this paper for your hand. Because this paper, one side they will pretend say they give you protection. But on the other side, it expose you to exactly which way you want to run away from too. You want to stay alive. And I want to make all we stay alive. I want to make all we be present on that great day. So that all we go celebrate together. We go to shout free, at last we are free. I want to make every devil be avoidable. We'll find a way for avoid them. Now, one of the things is when I talk about finding yourself at the wrong place, with the wrong company, and at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing. That the kind of thing in that would have easily cut your life short. We need to continue to fight against all those things. Resist them. Once you start give in, before you know get place for stand again. The thing we don't keep we tightly knitted and strong all these 7 years and counting. Now because we resist every single attempt to approach it, they bring them for try to make sure say they know say they be in control of the land and they will try and they will continue for pressurize with the way they want. We need for fighter. If you're just joining, share the link because we have a major discourse today, a major conversation today around a recent outing by one Professor Bessala of La République du Cameroun. I bring this discussion today because which way Professor Bessala talk, it be very important. Very important because this one, the citizen of La République du Cameroun, when you hear the name Professor Bessala, that person from that Ekang Beti Bulu, although that Bessala, if you feel talk say maybe come Nambam or any of those things, but all the same center, south, east, that they greet that way and talk about here. Not be any of those who lie intellectuals from La République du Cameroon, from Ambazonia, where they don't go join La République du Cameroon. They can't shit on for air, they shout trash, how there is no such thing as an Anglophone problem, how life has come back to normal, how everything is okay. No, that's not it. So, we'll now go, excuse me, I change to go back now for English language, and also we understand all we. But let us try to get what this gentleman is saying here.
C'est comme la malchance, vous savez, quand vous vivez la malchance tout le temps, vous finissez par croire qu'en fait que c'est votre vie qui est comme ça et que vous n'avez plus rien à faire, vous êtes malchanceux, vous comprenez? Vous finissez par mourir comme ça, alors vous aurez pu faire des efforts parce qu'en fait le moral n'y est plus, l'esprit n'y est plus. La violence aussi comme que quand vous êtes dans un système où depuis 2015, le peuple voit le sang, il voit des gens égorgés, à la fin il finit par se dire c'est notre quotidien. Donc quand on abat 20 personnes, 30 personnes, il s'est dit, bon, c'est notre vie désormais, on vit avec. Vous comprenez?
So I will be interrupting him to explain, especially the most salient and the most important parts. Because you see, there are some of these things, and I must apologize for the quality of the image. I just picked it as it was shared. I mean, what I'm interested in is transmitting this message, is having this conversation around this message for all of us. You see, what Professor Bessala is saying here, he is decrying something, decrying the fact that in La République du Cameroon, people have become so used to misery and suffering that they have ended up concluding that it is a way of life. That so there's nothing we can do about it, so let's just leave it. And then he's taking it now into the ongoing conflict in the southern Cameroons, the La République du Cameroon's genocidal war that they are visiting on our people. So he's saying that what is happening is now some people have gotten to that stage where they say, oh, it doesn't matter again, you get on in the morning, you hear 15 people have been killed, you say, okay, that's it. That's part of our daily lives now. 20, 30 people have been killed. It means nothing again to anybody and all of those things. And nobody even says anything about it because it has simply become normal. What is the cry here? It's actually the fact that people get to that point where you start looking at evil as being normal. You start looking at terrible things that should be denounced as being things that have become part of your life that are simply acceptable. You begin to accommodate. That's what I mean. Let's listen to him again.
C'est ça donc le problème dans ce pays. C'est-à-dire que on voit ces dégâts sur des vies humaines et puis les gens vont vous dire non, le problème c'est ceux qui sont dans les brousses, c'est pas ceux qui sont au gouvernement, c'est pas ceux qui disent.
So did you hear that? So he says you get up every morning, you see these corpses, you hear about this deaths in the 10s, sometimes in the 20s, in the 30s, and you get very angry, and then they tell you, the system tells you, those who are creating this problem are those that are in the bush. That is the voices in the bushes, are those that are in the bush, and not the government. And this is fundamental, because this is exactly what La République du Cameroon and the apparatchiks in our midst, those that they have, among us who still call themselves activists for the freedom of Ambazonia, but who now speak more, but for La République du Cameroon than for us. Those among our people who say that they are CPDM elites and all of those things, he is referring to the fact that, you see, a coalition of those people get to that place where they want to convince our local populations. They want to convince our people. They want to let our people know that the problem, that their real problem now is not the government of La République du Cameroon that has refused all opportunity to find itself on a negotiation table so that peace and so that justice can come and then peace will follow. When the root causes of this conflict would have been examined and the two parties decide to go their separate ways so that each person lives in peace. People begin to think. Some people begin to think that it is not like the problem is not like the Republic du Cameroon government. It is the voices in the bushes, the people who are in the bushes. They fail to ask themselves, how did those people find themselves in the bushes? Did we just get up one morning and decide, okay, we're carrying weapons to get into the bushes? Hell no. You will recall 2016, because this whole thing has a genesis. 2016, even before our lawyers were beaten and rubbed in mud, their wigs dragged on the ground by simple police constables who can equal them. We had our children at the University of Boya treated like trash. We saw policemen move up into the hostels, go right upstairs into their rooms, knock at the room, break in, drag them out of their rooms, bring them down, and cause them to be rolling themselves in mud. They even raped some of them. Yet we did nothing. We only protested. We only made noise. In December, and specifically on December 8, 2016, in Bamenda, the people were protesting peacefully just with peace plans and making one simple request, that they want freedom. What happened? They brought down Akum Julius and wounded a lot of people. And no weapons. Because the people were sensitized seriously that we go out there marching, carry only peace plans. No stones, nothing, no sticks, nothing. It had to be just peace plans. And they followed. What happened? La République du Cameroon stocks opened fire with live bullets on our people. They wounded a good number of them. Some are simply disabled until today. Huh? Our brother Akum Julius lost his life. Yeah. And then you move on. 2017, it's the same story. I don't want to start early. Right up from the moment where we declared ghost towns. Go to September 22, 2017. We had millions of people on the streets of Ambazonia with peace plans. Our mothers who dressed like Takumbans with peace plans, nothing short of that. La République du Cameroon opened fire on our people with live bullets. On the 1st of October 2017, people went out to march with peace plans. La République du Cameroon shot from the air with helicopter gunships. My brothers and sisters, my dear people of Ambazonia, by the time our people got fed up and decided to go take their den guns, it is when again in November 2017, La République du Cameroon soldiers were now breaking into homes, removing people, beating them and killing them right in front of their families. And so the people said, no, now it's reached another level. And they took their den guns that we normally use for our funerals. And that is how in the end, you have people in the bushes who said, we must defend ourselves. But today, when you listen to some of the so-called intellectuals on the Southern Cameroon stock, who have sold their souls to the CPDM, you hear them claim that we are the problem. When you listen to people like Kwetong and Deson Konge, you hear them claim that we are the problem, that those who are in the bush are the problem. You hear a Botova soul or a lost soul like Atanganji talk. That is what you hear them say. And you listen to the so-called professors who say that I don't even want to bother calling here. They will sit there and tell you about the head of state's policy vision and tell you how it is us, it is the people that are being tortured who are the problem. That's exactly what Professor Bessala is saying here. When you get to this place, then something is wrong with you.
Et puis vous allez voir, la presse n'en parle même plus. Parce qu'en fait, ceux qui sont autour du président gagnent à ce que la presse n'en parle plus. Parce que quand la presse en parle, le peuple sait que ça existe encore. Alors on finit par faire passer les gens à la caisse. On en sait un peu beaucoup.
So do you hear that? That's the next thing he says, which is very important. That right now they've gotten to the place where they even kill 20, 30, 40 people. The local media doesn't say anything about it anymore. No, they don't. And he says, why are the local media quiet about it? Because the people who surround Mr. Paul Biya want that the local media should not talk about it. And when they're not talking about it, it gives the general public the impression that everything is under control. Life has returned to normal. That is what could misguide people, mislead people like Madu Sylvester to find himself saying that he was going to shoot a movie in Bamenda at this time. Because the local press no longer talks about what is going on. A gendarme was just brought down on the road to Mbengui today. The other day, it was 3 or 4 of them in Kumbo. Last week, there were a number of people who were killed here and there. The other day, they told us, I mean, we realized that the CPDM cohorts concocted and brought down 50 and more of our people in Egbeko. Go to the local press. Those that mention it, even mention it simply by trying to give the position of the Cameroon government on it, not decrying the fact that those things happen. Because they tell themselves when the press stops talking about it, they will end up trying to convince the people that nothing is going on anymore. That's exactly their intention. Because they want to continue to live in a system of make-believe. I've constantly said this. That is a lot of la République du Cameroun, make-believe.
Beaucoup plus dessus, pour qu'ils n'en parlent plus. Dites-moi, combien de journaux ont titré dessus? On préfère vous titrer sur le football, sur des choses qui vraiment ne mènent nulle part, alors que le vrai problème est là. Ça, c'est dingue. De deux, vous savez aussi que, là j'entre dans une autre analyse peut-être beaucoup plus spirituelle pour dire qu'en fait, le pouvoir se nourrit du sang. Il faut toujours le savoir. Et surtout, il se nourrit du sang lorsque ceux qui sont arrivés au pouvoir, du moins ne doivent pas leur pouvoir à une logique normale d'arriver au pouvoir. C'est-à-dire qu'ils sont arrivés par des moyens un peu, comment dire, bon pas occultes peut-être, mais assez curieux. Alors ils sont obligés de s'entretenir et d'entretenir leur longévité par le sang. Je peux vous prendre quelques cas. Hein. Moi j'ai comme l'impression toujours...
Now you see, he's saying another very important thing here. That we are dealing here with a bloody system where a majority of those who sail to power, who hold positions in that country, who hold some key positions in that country, that a good majority of them actually get there through sometimes very mysterious means. And because they get there through some of these mysterious means, recall I said here the last time about Ebale Anguno, talking about the fact that a lot of the time they will be drinking blood in places, human blood, and all of those things in order to, get positions. I played Ube Monon Jana here, who talked here about the non-nature and the etre, and that the etre are those who actually thrive in drinking this blood and living on it, while the non-nature are those who are just there still thinking that the society is such that you can sail to positions by merit. And so what Bestseller is saying here is that these people, because of this kind of manner that they use to accede to power, to ascend to the positions that they get to, they therefore end up believing and promote a society where blood has to constantly flow. Did you hear that? That is, they thrive when blood flows. They thrive when people suffer. My people of Ambazonia. Last time I mentioned here an article by a former CRTV journalist, Kilian Gala, on the crooks, a Roman Catholic run international news organ, where a priest said from confessional, he will conclude that the devil had taken residence in Cameroon. This is the same thing that Professor Bestseller is talking about. And highlighting and making clear, it's not only Bia. A good lot of those who are sent to power under the Bia system likely have blood on their hands. Reason, spilling blood around them isn't a problem. Reason, they will perpetuate anything that leads to the continuous spilling of blood. That's a shameful.
Au Cameroun comme ça, et puis c'est plus là. 97, vous avez vu, mon Cameroun avait craché, il y avait, vous avez vu le scandale d'Ensam, au carburant, vu, n'est-ce pas?
Oui.
Voilà. On peut vous... avant l'élection, la veille l'élection de 2018, 2 ans avant, vous avez eu à Maniaï, chez lui, près de non loin de chez lui, ce train qui avait déraillé, des gens qui étaient passés des prépas. Et vous vivez des choses comme ça et ça continue. Je peux citer des cas et des cas dans l'histoire, même sous Aïdjo, on a eu des cas comme ça. C'est-à-dire, oui, quand il fallait prendre une décision en 68, on a dû cramer la ville de Marché Congo, voilà, cramer avec l'aide des soldats français. On a connu des choses comme ça. Comme Samba, au début des années 60. Vous savez, on a abattu des gens comme ça. Vous savez, parce que quand vous regardez 61, le référendum, c'était sensiblement dans les zones. Donc faites très attention. Et vous, la dans le nord-ouest, c'est pour dire quoi? Que le sang qui coule dans le nord-ouest nourrit donc aussi ceux qui sont au pouvoir.
Did you hear that? He was still explaining what I was interpreting a while ago. He says the blood that continues to flow in the southern Cameroons helps to maintain those who are in power in place where they are. That is why they will do everything to oppose anything that will lead to the negotiation table so that justice will be served and peace will return to the various countries, each country taking care of its own affairs. They will oppose because if it ends, their source of blood. And you see, he has mentioned several moments where there are high, very important things about to happen in that country. Blood must flow. You know, at the approach of every election cycle, you hear about accidents like you've never before. 20 people, 30 people, 40 people dying in one motor accident. That's the kind of country La République du Cameroon is. And so people like the Atanga Ponjis and all of those people, no. They're very excited. John Gute, Mengot, all of them, they're very excited as the blood is flowing. You see, that's why they were going for November 6 celebrations in Egboko Emanfe. For Tabetando, Mengot, that other, there's again, Takoncho and the others. They had to plan on how to sacrifice blood, how to sacrifice people. After breaking the 6th of November, they were able to mastermind the claiming of over 50 lives. That's how they survived. Folks, we are unevenly yoked with an evil system in La République du Cameroon. And it did not start today because you heard him say it started even right from under Ahijo. That is not who we are. That's not what you hear of the southern Cameroons between 1954 and 1961. Where our people did clean politics. When two politicians from opposing parties will come and stand and campaign on the same soapbox, and when they finish, they shake hands, embrace each other, and walk home. And the one party that wins and the other loses, both of them meet again and shake hands. And the one that won is congratulated. The one that lost gets ready for the next contest. And life was moving on. We did not see this kind of situations where it would be blood, and blood. Folks, we have stayed too long with this evil system that we are already getting so contaminated. We have to do everything it takes to make sure we get these folks out of our land and restore the soul of our nation. Restore the dignity that we believe unto the human person. Yes. Let's listen again.
Parce que pour vous, vous voyez simplement des enfants qui sont sortis pour égorger. Mais pour d'autres, nous voyons des gens qu'on égorge parce qu'en fait, ceux qui nous dirigent ont besoin de ce sang-là pour rester encore plus longtemps. Vous comprenez ce que je dis? Si je reviens plus proche de nous, parce que les Camerounais peuvent trouver peut-être que je suis très aérien, le crime de sang que nous vivons tous les jours, on kidnappe.
One quick thing he says, that people just sit and they say, they claim that children, unidentified gun major came out and slaughtered for all whatnot. They said, but what you fail to see is that beyond this slaughtering, those who stand to benefit from that blood are those who are in the system in Yaoundé. Goes back exactly to what I'm saying. We are dealing with a bloodthirsty system. We are unevenly yoked with a bloodthirsty country. Some people who are taking this liberation movement for granted, I'm cautioning you on a daily basis. Take note, folks. The evil that is being visited on other people could be visited onto you. That is why, at the level of the consortium, we call this the people's collective fight, collective struggle for freedom. It is our collective struggle, all of us, to freedom, sustainable and enjoyable freedom. That's what we are seeking. That's why nobody should stay behind. That's why nobody should think that this liberation movement is the business of those who are still talking about it, those who are still running up and down. In the bushes with toys trying to defend our land, or is the business of those who continue to attend demonstrations, international conferences, and meetings here and there. It concerns all of us. God is the soul of our very nation, the future of our children and our children's children that is at stake here. That's why we must all be involved.
Enfant, et je suis d'ailleurs très content, le docteur David Eboutela, il manœuvre vraiment beaucoup dans sa communication sur sa page, sur les enfants qui disparaissent, sur ainsi de suite, vous voyez. Donc, vous entendez qu'on a kidnappé une personne, ils appellent des personnes saines, à qui on a enlevé des organes, pour amener où? Pour amener où, pour en faire quoi? Vous voyez, c'est des choses comme ça. Donc, je vais vous dire en fait que le problème aujourd'hui n'est pas là-bas, le problème aujourd'hui c'est à Yaoundé. De trois, c'est que le président de la République a atteint un niveau où moi je crois qu'il devrait se souvenir de ce que son prédécesseur lui a fait. Parce que je ne vois pas quel est l'acte le plus exceptionnel qu'il a eu à poser aux yeux d'Aïdjo pour qu'il mérite ce que Aïdjo lui a donné comme héritage, c'est-à-dire le Cameroun. Vous comprenez? Il faut qu'il se rappelle qu'effectivement, même si Aïdjo avait décidé dans son âme et conscience de lui donner le Cameroun, si le peuple n'avait pas voulu de cela, si nos ancêtres n'avaient pas voulu de cela, parce que notre hymne national c'est aussi ça, au Cameroun, berceau de nos ancêtres. Si nos ancêtres n'avaient pas voulu de cela, de son arrivée, il ne serait pas arrivé là où il est. Il n'aurait même pas mis long, parce qu'en fait le 6 avril.
So you see, while I let Professor Bessala continue long and large, and before I come back in, I just wanted to interrupt here to point this out. There is one other fundamental thing he says here. The problem is not with the people of the southern Cameroons. The problem is with Yaoundé. He makes it very clear. Because those who sit down and tell that, oh, these voices in the bushes, this thing, you people, that Ambazonia thing, you are the ones who always say Ambazonia is evil and all of those things. Professor Bessala is not a southern Cameroonian. Professor Bessala is a citizen of La République du Cameroon who has decided to let his conscience speak. And that's what it makes clear to you here. The problem is not in Ambazonia. The problem is not with Ambazonians. The problem is not with the voices in the bushes. The problem is not with our liberation movements. The problem is in Yaoundé. Because at least on several accounts, we have gone to the negotiation table, even at places where we knew they would not come, to say La République du Cameroun, come let us talk. Each time, they've escaped. Yeah. Each time they have escaped. There was Switzerland. Even when we knew that they will not come there because of the way the whole thing came on, but we still went. Our people still went. Even when some of us cautioned, oh, don't go, don't waste your time. For the thirst of that thing that they call, let us discuss, let us negotiate, let us sit to the table and examine the root causes, and let us bring justice so there will be peace. Our people went. In Canada, La République du Cameroun sent delegations 3 times. The Canadian minister said this. And I'll be back here on some issues still relating to that Canada, I guess tomorrow or Friday. Folks, Professor Bessala is hitting the nail on the head. The problem is with Yaoundé, not with Ambazonians. That is why you need to continue to join forces with us. We need to continue to join forces to make sure we get these people out of our land. Yaoundé is our problem. The problem is not A in Ambazonia, not B in Ambazonia, not C in Ambazonia. It is Yaoundé. And when I say Yaoundé here, I include all of those so-called CPDM elites, because they are part of that evil system that is struggling to perpetrate us under slavery and servitude for life. They are. And Professor Bessala brushes lightly, talks about the kind of culture in Bia's mind, talks about the transition from Ahidjo to Paul Biya, Ahidjo could have gotten people from his own part of the country, from the northern regions, but he chose Paul Biya, not because of anything else. But like I said, whether they chose who or they chose who is Bonnet Blanc, Blanc Bonnet. That is their country. We didn't even have to be part of it in the first place. And so we need to get out of there while they sort out themselves.
2 années seulement après, le mouvement j'ose, les soldats disaient déjà, ce monsieur avec ses amis-là, ils ne sont pas sur la bonne longueur d'onde. 2 années seulement, à peine, il était arrivé. Vous voyez que le coup d'État du 6 avril était comme un prémonitoire, du moins dans l'esprit et le discours, dans le narratif. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, tout ce qu'on avait dénoncé le 6 avril 84 est en train de nous harceler aujourd'hui. C'est-à-dire que nous sommes dirigés par des jouisseurs. Nous sommes dirigés par des gens qui n'en ont que cirer du bonheur du pays. Regardez, 2 années après, si vous ramenez le discours de ces soldats à la radio nationale, vous allez comprendre qu'ils avaient vu le Cameroun sur 40 années. Tout ce que nous vivons aujourd'hui, c'est ce qui est dans ce discours. Moi, je reparcours l'histoire. Vous lisez à Bandolo, dans La Flamme et la Fumée, il reproduit ce discours. Vous vous dites, mais est-ce que ces gens-là, s'ils avaient encore vécu aujourd'hui, ils seraient scandalisés que nous, le peuple camerounais, est toujours comme ça? C'est-à-dire qu'on arrive sur votre plateau, monsieur Moukoko, et on vient dire que non, Yaoundé est bien, et ainsi de suite. Non, il avait tout vu. Alors, donc je sors.
So, I don't want to spend a lot of time on issues that, may not be too important with respect to prosecuting our liberation movement. Now, sometimes you see me let him go a bit long and a bit large. But what he's saying that those who organized the failed coup of 1984 in the Republic of Cameroon, that the speech that they made on the radio at that time is today more relevant than it could really have been at that time. Because he says, if you listen to the speech, that those who fomented the failed coup of 1984, you listen to the speech that they made, he says that speech demonstrates beyond reasonable doubt that those who were organizing that coup had seen what was going to happen in Cameroon for over 40 years right ahead. He is confirming that they had dissected Biya and they had noticed that Biya, he used the word voyou. Yeah, that Biya and his gang were a bunch of people with no idea, with no vision, with no idea exactly where they were going to lead the country to. That's what he's talking about. After all, like I said, of course, those are aspects that may be related to us, but don't really concern us very much, because what concerns us is that they leave our territory. He's getting back to issues that concern us. Let's move on.
Je sors sur ce point. Oui. Je sors donc sur ce point en disant que faisons attention, c'est à Yaoundé qui a la solution. Et l'homme qui a la solution, c'est Paul Biya. Moi, j'aime toujours le dire. Une sanction qui met du temps ou qui tarde à arriver rend coupable le chef. Si le chef t'a...
No one could put it better. The solution is in Yaoundé. And the solution is Paul Biya. All Paul Biya needs to do is come meet us on a negotiation table. We have a talk. We examine the root causes. We demonstrate to the Republic and the international community beyond reasonable doubt that their presence in southern Cameroon in Ambazonia is annexationist and it's against international law. We prove beyond reasonable doubt that they have no claim over the territory of the southern Cameroons. We prove beyond reasonable doubt that their welcome has been too long, that they have overstayed their welcome in Ambazonia. And we establish that we need to go our separate ways for peace to reign, because that will be instituting justice, and then we can live a life of excellent neighbors, as good neighbors. We can interhelp each other. By the way, that happens among nations. The problem that we are still fighting until today is Biya. When we say something, say, oh, I heard someone say, oh, when they got to Canada, they were about to free prisoners, they were about to do this, they were about to do that. Then people in this liberation movement, oh, they made La République du Cameroun. Get out. That is not true, and you know it. La République du Cameroun generally has bad faith. Yaoundé is the problem here, not Ambazonia. And this is the point that Professor Bessala is making and wants everybody to see. So people sit around and tell us, oh no, don't bother about it. The problem are the people who are surrounding Paul Biya. It's not Paul Biya himself. Professor Bessala repeats it. If you are the boss, you are supposed to make punishment, sanctions on people who are doing the wrong thing. You either delay or don't make that sanction at all. You become part of that crime. You become part of the problem. Or no, you are the problem. You yourself. And that's what it is. After 1,000 people come and say, oh, don't worry, this thing, that the people who are surrounding Paul Biya, who are doing this and all of this, no. All of them, one by one, are guilty of all the evil that has been visited on our people in Ambazonia.
À sanctionner, je convertis la même maxime, il devient coupable. Vous comprenez? Quelles que soient les stratégies qu'il veut adopter, c'est-à-dire que le peuple doit comprendre qu'il est entouré de bandits, de voleurs, comme c'est toujours notre narratif, parce qu'on a compris ce qu'il fait. Nous pensons avoir compris ce qu'il fait. Mais nous trouvons que ça met déjà un peu trop long. Nous savons déjà qu'il est entouré de bandits. Nous savons déjà qu'il est entouré de gens qui n'en ont que cirer de la patrie. Et nous savons qu'il est entouré de gens justement qui instiguent la guerre dans le nord-ouest et le sud-ouest afin de toujours lui montrer que c'est eux les hommes de la situation. Alors que...
Did you hear that? That we stop making all this noise. That no, don't tell us that no, it's because Paul Biya. He said, we know that Paul Biya is surrounded by thieves, hardened criminals like Atanga Ponji and others, bandits, surrounded by these thieves. We all know that Paul Biya is surrounded by the same people who don't want the raging genocidal war that people Cameroon is visiting on our people to end, because they are benefiting from it. Listen, it's not just me saying it. Late Frundi of blessed memory, that's Frundi of blessed memory, said this, that you see, when you hear about the self-defense group for the Amber Boys, he said people like Atang and Jipor and many other people in La République who say they are Ambazonians, that they are citizens of the southern Cameroons, like the Mengots, like the Fort Habitant and others, they have their own groups. They have their own Amber Boys, whose role is to perpetrate kidnapping and rape people, wreak havoc on people, extort money from people, kidnap people for ransom for huge sums. They are the ones manning the war economy. For that reason, they would never want to sit and hear one ear that the war is ending. That's why you see them come excited like René Sadi to lie without being ashamed that La République du Cameroon did not engage in anything with Canada. Even after they sent 3 delegations, and the people are identifiable to Canada on behalf of the government of La République du Cameroon. This is because they are benefiting from the chaos that is ongoing. They steal all the money that is allocated, meant to be given to Mr. Paul Biya's stocks on the ground. They steal huge sums of money, claiming that they are taking this money to bribe leaders of our liberation movement so that they should get out of this struggle. They swindle huge sums of money, claiming that they are using to bribe self-defense volunteers, or to use that to get them out of the bushes so that they should drop their weapons. They don't want peace. They don't want justice, because they are benefiting from this chaos. Because they've put in place their own gangs that are capturing people and collecting ransoms. And in the end, they'll say, oh, those Amber Boys, they are terrible, they are this and that. No. Call a spade a spade. Is that not so, Professor Bessala? Let me listen to you again now for the last time.
Nous savons tous que vous ne pouvez pas être le problème et en même temps être la solution. Si vous êtes le problème et que vous devez être la solution, c'est que, en tant que solution, vous devez être le martyr ou le sacrifice de la solution pour que la solution existe.
So did you hear that? Those people who are sitting around Paul Biya, they're claiming that there is no problem, they have the situation under control. Of course, that's what he said. Because talking of the people like Atanga Ponji, the Professor Elvis Ngole, the people like Mengot and all those things, the Fortabe Tando, the Fru Jonathans, all of them, Fru Kalitus Gentry, all of them, they'll sit there and say, no, take it easy. We have the situation under control. Those are the people who want this liberation movement, or who want this war, I beg your pardon, who want this war to be eternal. Because they tap and they eat from it. And like Professor Bessala is saying, at the same time, the people present themselves as the solution. You cannot be a problem and be the solution at the same time, unless you're martyred, as he's saying. You cannot be a problem and at the same time, you are the solution. This is simple. So Yaoundé, that is the problem, cannot pretend that they are the ones who can bring the solution to what is going on in Ambazonia. The solution will only come from an international table, where you have an international peace mediation, where the root causes of this conflict will be examined. That will be the table where we will search for justice. And after justice, will come peace, because each party will withdraw into their territorial boundaries, and peace will return on both sides. That's what it is. So give me a break by saying, oh, yeah, I organized Grand National Monologue. Oh, I organized this. Oh, I've created DD, I should come in. You cannot be a problem, and at the same time, you are the solution. Professor Bessala is not a citizen of Ambazonia. He's a citizen of la République du Cameroun. But one who is clairvoyant.
Vous comprenez? Donc il doit les sacrifier pour que la solution se dessine et elle existe. Il faut donc ce gouvernement. Voilà. Il faut ce remaniement. Et quand je dis remaniement, ce n'est pas seulement le membre du gouvernement. C'est que sur les institutions principales de ce pays, qu'on redonne au moins à nos frères du Nord-Ouest et du Sud-Ouest une chambre du Parlement. Une chambre du Parlement. Merci. Qu'on leur donne aussi autre chose dans le gouvernement pour qu'ils sentent qu'en fait, ils sont représentés. Parce que chaque fois qu'il a voulu donner quelque chose à nos frères du Nord-Ouest, il allait prendre les fils d'eux. Les fils d'eux. Les fils d'eux. C'est-à-dire les héritiers de ceux avec qui il a dirigé depuis Aïdjo et qui n'ont jamais...
No, I just even don't want to continue here. We'll stop because he's here. Listen, I'm not interested in this other part. Not interested, not because of... But he's saying that as far as he is concerned, there needs to be a kind of shake-up of the society. He affirms that in the current dispensation, Southern Cameroonians are more or less slaves. That's why he's saying they should at least give, and that's what I hate to hear. Give what to who? They should at least give to the people of the Southern Cameroons one of the chambers of the assembly. So like either we have the speaker of the National Assembly or the president of the Senate, because, and then he goes to one other interesting thing, that each time Biya has tried to give, that word give, something to the people of the Southern Cameroons, he only goes for the children of those with whom he came to power in 1982 after Ahidjo. Of course, going back to that same dynasty, that if you are not somebody's son or daughter, you cannot get to anywhere. But by and large, our issue is not power sharing in La République du Cameroun. Our issue is decolonizing our land, decolonizing our territory, getting La République du Cameroun out of our land. That is our focus. So I want to thank Professor Bessala for being frank, for being clear, and for being open. This is a pointer to the effect that we are making so much progress in this liberation movement, getting citizens of the enemy country to graduate from whatever they thought about us and to start seeing things as they are and recognizing that they have been the problem. The one thing left is for them to recognize that the only way this ends is that they leave our territory. And the only way they will recognize that is that we'll continue to increase the cost of occupation. And we can only do that by standing by one another. We can only do that by concentrating on doing the things that will fuel and embolden this liberation movement. I want to end this communication today by urging us all to hurry quickly to www.oneportrelief.org. Make a contribution today. Move this liberation movement forward. Make a contribution today. Move this liberation movement forward, because it is on that. That is what will help us to get everything that is required to kick La République du Cameroon out of our territory. So I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for spending time with me on this broadcast. That got to beyond 1 hour. We've done 1 hour, 1 minute. So I know that at this point we should already be at about this is getting to 10 p.m. Amber time. Yeah, because we started at 9. I realized it was announcing 8 p.m. at the beginning. We're actually starting at 9 o'clock. So this is a few minutes after 10 o'clock. So I wish all and sundry on ground 0, ground 1, ground 2, and those of you who are in Europe, good night. And for us in the United States of America and or in North America, let us continue to put in our efforts to fund this liberation movement. This freedom is very important and fundamental for all of us. So to God be the glory.